I'm Mary Eve, and I'm with the Purdue Extension Office in Harrison County, Indiana. And today, I'm talking about popcorn. This is one of America's most favorite snacks, and actually in 1 year, Americans consume almost 15 billion quarts of popcorn. You can imagine 15 billion of these eaten every single year by Americans. Now, popcorn is different from other corns because popcorn, even though it is small, has the thickest hull of all the corns, including sweet corn and field corn. The reason for this is so that it maintains moisture within the kernel, and that's what causes the popcorn to pop. Once the moisture is heated up and creates steam, it forces the hull open, and all the gelatinous starch on the inside pops out, cools down, and becomes one of our favorite snacks. Popcorn is grown mainly in the Midwest, which would include Indiana, Nebraska, Iowa, Illinois, Kentucky, and Missouri. It's a very large cash crop for those users, and an interesting fact is during the 2013 Indiana State Fair, the largest ball of popcorn was created. It weighed over 6,500 pounds and was over 8 feet in diameter. And this made the Guinness Book of World Records. And now let's pop some popcorn. Okay, now we are going to pop our popcorn. This takes 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, and before we add our 1/3 cup of popcorn, we're going to put just 3 kernels in the pot. When these pop, it will tell us that our pot is hot enough to add the remaining kernels. Always put a lid on because popcorn kernels, when they pop, can jump up to 3 feet high. We're going to put this on medium-high heat, and we have to wait. 2, 3. Okay, now it's time to pour in the rest of the popcorn. Quickly put the lid back on and give it a good shake so the oil is distributed. And it won't take long before they start popping away. Do not leave the pot unattended because it does not take long for the entire thing to get popped, and you don't want your popcorn to burn. Give it just one quick shake, holding the lid down. Try and get the kernels that are not popped down to the bottom. Okay, we don't have any more pop. We're going to turn off our burner. When you lift the lid, lift it away from you because there will be steam built up. This equals about 4 cups of popcorn. So let's put this in the bowl and we're going to have some recipes. Okay, our first popcorn mix is going to be pumpkin spice. To make pumpkin spice, we need 1/3 cup of melted butter. We're going to add to that 3 tablespoons of sugar, 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, and just a pinch of ginger because it is a rather strong spice. I'm going to stir this up until the sugar is melted so that you don't have any grains of sugar in there. And it smells just like a pumpkin pie. So in our bowl over here, we have 2 batches of popcorn, just like we just finished popping. So that would equal 2/3 of a cup of unpopped popcorn. So that makes quite a bit. Okay, this is looking pretty good. To stir as we pour this on. And use a very large bowl, not the bowl you're probably going to serve it in. Because you want to be able to mix this evenly throughout your popcorn. Make sure you get everything out of your measuring cup. Make sure that all the kernels are well covered. And there you have it. A very easy topping for popcorn. And that is really good stuff. Okay, this time we're going to season our popcorn as a blazing buffalo ranch seasoning mix. And to make this one, we're going to need some spray because instead of melting butter this time, we're going to cut a few calories and use butter flavored spray to help the spices adhere to the popcorn. So we are going to not use the whole packet of ranch dressing mix. We're only going to use 1 tablespoon of ranch dressing mix, a tablespoon of celery salt, which we have right there, a teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of powdered sugar to add just a little bit of sweetness. And then to add the bit of heat, we have cayenne pepper. And this is only 1/4 teaspoon. It's a very small amount on that. And if you're somebody who likes the heat, you can add a little more. If you don't care for the heat, totally leave it out of your recipe. It's all up to you. So this is a kind of like a dry rub for your popcorn. And just mix it until it's well incorporated. We have a few lumps in our ranch dressing mix. Now this time I'm going to put the popcorn on a tray so that all of the kernels or most of the kernels can get sprayed with the butter popcorn. And this again is 2 batches of popcorn. Give it a light spray. And we're going to sprinkle on our ranch buffalo dressing seasoning. And you can put on as much or as little as you like. You may not need to use the whole batch, and you can save it for another time. Or if you're making a smaller batch of popcorn, you can save the rest for later. And with clean hands, I'm going to mix this up to get it well coated. Let's add a little bit more seasoning for this popcorn that was at the bottom. Another mix. And we'll put it back in the bowl for serving. Whatever seasoning you have at the bottom of the pan, you just put that onto the top of the bowl, give it another quick toss, and be ready to go. Okay, so that was quick and easy. Oh, and again, a great tasting popcorn. Just go for one more recipe. Okay, and now for our final and third recipe. This one is BBQ Popcorn seasoning. And as you can see, we have quite a few spices going into this one, but it should be most of the spices that you have at home. And again, we'll be using our cooking spray to help to coat our popcorn. This one starts off with a tablespoon of brown sugar. Because in barbecue sauce, you do have a bit of sweetness with brown sugar. And probably this thing you could probably also use as a rub for when you barbecue. We have a teaspoon of paprika for a little smokiness. Dry mustard, this is 1 teaspoon. A teaspoon of salt. A teaspoon of chili powder. A teaspoon of garlic powder. Teaspoon of onion powder, some cumin, and a teaspoon of that as well. Then we have half a teaspoon of celery salt in this one, and another 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, a little bit of heat. And again, in this recipe, you can change any of the quantities that you like to come up with a popcorn rub that you enjoy. Maybe a little more heat, maybe a little more salt. Again, we're going to stir all the ingredients together. Be sure to get rid of lumps. We can really smell the cumin in this one. Okay, let's set this aside for just a second. Again, we're going to put our popcorn on a pan so that we can more evenly distribute our popcorn spice. And again, clean hands. We have our spray. Cut a few of those calories. That also helps to get the spices stay on the popcorn. Same technique as with the ranch. This one's a little darker with all that chili powder and paprika, so you can see it easily as you put it on the popcorn to make sure you have good coverage. And again, you don't have to put all of it on there. Okay, so that looks like enough there. Let's give it a toss and see if we need some more. Keep losing one on the table. Okay, let's put a little bit more on there. Okay, we'll put it back in the bowl to serve. Be careful not to dump any more out on the counter. Whatever spice is left on the pan, just add it to the bowl and stir it back in. BBQ Popcorn. And it is. Thank you.